An intense kind of defense? I gotta like it. Don't let the flag scare you. Just go out there and be you. Hit everyone with everything you got legally. You better watch out for that defense come regular season time because the other teams are gonna be like, well, I didn't know what just hit me. That's the Dirty Birds coming your way and ready to sack your quarterback. Sorry. I'm just excited that football is so fucking bad. Don't even worry. Reactions preseason week 1 will be tomorrow. Don't you dare miss it. Anyways, welcome back to Grizzly Talks Football. For today's episode, the AP poll, which came out at the time I'm recording this about 2 hours ago, we'll be reacting to that preseason AP poll along with the preseason Heisman odds, at least for 2025. If you are somehow still looking for that, the season 2 series, I'm going to make sure I put that in the link in the description so you guys can go watch it. Watch every episode, catch up on it, and then you'll also have that for future episodes. Also, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. It helps the channel out. Without further ado, let's react to the AP poll for the preseason. If you haven't seen my reaction to the coaches poll, make sure to put that in the ending of this video. There's a little thing there with a video on the channel to subscribe to. I'll make sure to put that coaches poll reaction video in there. But anyways, we're going to be going over every single bit of this AP Top 25 poll for the preseason for 2025. Let's get straight to it. So at the top 5, we got Texas at 1, Penn State at 2, defending national champion Ohio State at 3, Clemson at 4, and Georgia at 5. Texas, of course, with the, spoiler alert, Heisman frontrunner Arch Manning and Steve Sarkisian, probably one of the best coaches in the nation, let alone the SEC. Sure, they lost a lot of weapons, but they're still one of the best teams in the SEC heading into this upcoming season. Penn State at number 2, probably one of the best returning production teams in the entire nation. That's why they're number 2, even though I kind of think this is a little bit of an overrating. It's just my opinion. Despite having that great running back duo, despite having Drew Aller, it's just your coach name is James Franklin, aka the guy that cannot win a big-time Big Ten game. Or against Notre Dame for that matter. Come on, playing against SMU and Boise State, I don't want to say it doesn't count, but not as tough as what you had to face in the semifinal. Or rather, the 2 Big Ten teams that you lost to, those 2 playoff wins weren't as big as the other 2 losses in the Big Ten championship game and also against Ohio State. Speaking of the Buckeyes, you got them at 3. Even though they're defending national champions, I understand. They got a new guy at quarterback. And Ryan Day is heading into another season. Get ready for another inevitable loss to Michigan, but still contending for a playoff spot. Clemson at 4 was the most interesting thing about this. They were ACC champions. They still got one of the best coaches in their program's history. Actually, the best coach in program history, Dabo Swinney. I'm talking about probably one of the best coaches in ACC history. Doesn't use the transfer portal, but recruits like a fucking machine. That guy is good at recruiting. Kay Klutnick's still out there. He should be leading that Clemson to perhaps another ACC title. And then we got Georgia at 5. I just have a problem with Clemson being ahead of Georgia, even though, well, the reason? Georgia literally kicked their ass in the beginning of the last year. What was the score then? Like 34-3? They've owned Clemson ever since 2021. And you got Clemson ahead of Georgia? Trust me, it gets even more ridiculous. Moving on to 6 through 10, we got Notre Dame in the 6th spot, Oregon at 7, Bama at 8, LSU 9, Miami 10. Marcus Freeman has done a phenomenal job of rebuilding that program. Bradley Kelly could never. Sure, he had one good season, but that was pretty much it. Oregon only had 1 loss on the year before losing to the Rose Bowl against the national champions, eventual national champions, should I say. Being at 7, I think that's kind of fair. Notre Dame being behind Georgia is kind of laughable, especially with running back Jeremiah Love coming back. I think Oregon's kind of fine at 7 right now. Bama at 8. Man, I think this is Alabama's lowest AP ranking since 2008. Correct me if I'm wrong. They were 24th to start the year in 2008 because in 2007 they went 7-6 when they lost to Cover your ears, Bama fans. Louisiana Monroe. But I kind of get it. A lot of their great production, like Jahad Campbell. I can't remember any else. There's also Jalen Milroe. You know, they still got some of their weapons back, including Ryan Williams. I think Jam Miller's back. Some good defenders there and then. But I hate to say it, but he's an offensive-minded coach. His defense is going to suck. Or at least be like maybe at the halfway point of like rankings and defense. Definitely not going to be one of the best. Ken DeBoer was a coach at Washington where they had great offense but horrible defense. I mean, that was the whole Pac-12 narrative when he was there. I say it's not going to be changing anytime soon at Alabama. It's going to be slow, but be prepared for yourselves for a year that could be arguably worse than the Mike Shula era. How the hell you kept him after a 4-8 season in 2023, I will never know. Maybe it was 49, I can't remember. You lost to Hawaii then. Oh wait, you lost to Hawaii and Northern Illinois in the same year. But anyways, LSU at 9, Garrett, I remember how to say his name now. It's Newsmeyer. Anyway, he is a Heisman candidate. It's just the fact about LSU is that I can't trust Brian Kelly to be good to save his life. Sure, he had one good year with Jaden Daniels as his quarterback, but that was all he had. He couldn't build a defense to stop a fly. That goes the same for Miami. Carson Beck is going to Miami now. I think he's overrated. People are saying he's a Heisman candidate. I think that's bullshit. If he wasn't good at Georgia, what makes you think he's going to be good at Miami? I mean, he'll be better than he was at Georgia. But it's still alarming to me that Miami would actually try to get him after what he put up at Georgia. What a bad placeholder for Stetson Bennett. Moving on to 11 through 15, we got the Sun Devils at 11, fighting the Illini of Illinois at 12, South Carolina Gamecocks at 13, ranked in there for the first time since, I believe, 2014, Michigan at 14, Florida at 15. By the way, they haven't been ranked this high since 2014, that's what I mean. South Carolina was preseason in the top 10 in 2014. That was after Jakevion Clowney left. Anyways, let's start with Arizona State. Sam Leavitt, one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the country, probably one of the best in the Big 12. But with no Scattis show, it's interesting to see how Arizona State will fare without one of their best rushers in ages. Fighting Illini, you know, they had a lot of players leave, but I think they still have something going. What was this coach's name? Was it Brett Bielema? Brett's been a very good recruiter for those Fighting Illini. Watch out for them this year. South Carolina with Shane Beamer, Lenore Sellers at quarterback. I think TJ Spencer or something like that on the defense. It was Dylan Stewart, my bad. Honestly, I think South Carolina is probably going to take a step back from what they were last year. Because, you know, I always say defense wins championships. Wolverines at 14 is kind of gross. I mean, Bryce Underwood is the true freshman quarterback. Sharon Moore is still the head coach at Michigan. They went 7-6 last year. I can't remember. I think it was 8-5 actually. But this is kind of still laughable. Florida at 15 though is very interesting. I don't think they've been ranked this high since 2021. Billy Napier's still the head coach. They got DJ Lagway. They went through hell and back and finished 8-5 last year. So maybe Florida has a better year this year. Now we got the last 10, starting with 16 to 20, SMU at 16, K-State at 17, Oklahoma at 18, Texas A&M at 19, and Indiana at 20. Rhett Lashley has done such an amazing job of rebuilding SMU back into a powerhouse program. I mean, they went 11-3 last year with a playoff appearance, which is quite insane to say the least. Especially with the quarterback Kevin Jennings. Unfortunately, their best running back is gone now. He already got drafted, so it's going to be interesting to see what they can do from there. I think they might come back down to earth and probably finish like as an 8 or 9 win team, perhaps. K-State, Avery Johnson, they're going to be contenders in the Big 12, but I'm not sure about being one of the best teams in the country, though. Here's the most laughable thing. I said Michigan was laughable. This bullshit was laughable. Oklahoma at 18 is bullshit. Let me tell you a thing that happened last year. Sure, they beat Alabama, but they went 6-7, lost to Navy and they still have Venables as the head coach. The only reason why they're ranked and why 10 SEC teams are ranked in this top 25 poll is because they're in the SEC. And their motto is, it just means more. It means more to what? Be known as probably the most laughed at conference because you're the most watched conference in so many years? Texas A&M, I could understand being in the top 25. Marcel Reed, Texas A&M finally got over the Jimbo Fisher era. Finally, about damn time. They got a talented team. They had a pretty solid year last year if it wasn't for the fact they lost to South Carolina, Auburn, and Texas. Well, Texas isn't a bad loss, but they're not completely awful. Moving on to Indiana at 20. Kurt Cincinnati did an incredible job his first year. As far as the second year, though, yeah, it's going to be kind of a mixed bag. And part of me wants them to continue being great. Another thinks that they're going to have a bit of time before they completely free fall. And finally, moving on to 21 to 25. Obviously, as you could tell, BYU is not on there. BYU was in the coaches poll, but not in the AP poll. But that's fine. Don't rank us. That just means we're going to be proving everybody wrong soon. Anyway, starting with Ole Miss at 21. Honestly, Lane Kiffin, I'm not saying Lane Kiffin's a bad coach. Compared to the rest of the SEC, he's been kind of mid. Jackson Dart's gone. Trey Harris is gone. Remember that one running back that they used to have? What was it? I forget. Was it Quinshon Judkins? Well, the guy that went to Ohio State, he's gone. It's a completely new offense. Some of their defenders are even gone as well. Walter Nolan, Princely Omongalele or whatever. It's going to be interesting to see if Ole Miss can at least keep up that level of competition, or they're going to crash and burn very fast, just like the USC days. Moving on to Iowa State, I said one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12 was Sam Leavitt. Then there's Avery Johnson, and then there's Rocco Becht. Man, what was his name? Matt Campbell? That man has been making Iowa State into a contender ever since he got the job. He's done quite well with that Iowa State program, and now they can really go off from here, despite coming up short in the Big 12 championship game. Go get him, Cyclones. I only hate on your student session because of what they said about us when we joined the Big 12. But then we got Texas Tech at 23. They've been above average for quite a long time, but they haven't had a really good season since 2008. Remember when they were preseason, preseason ranked 12 to start the year, and then they won 11 straight games but lost to Oklahoma by 40 points. Ended up in a three-way tie for the Big 12 South title. I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. I think Texas Tech, they have some great roster. They've been recruiting Alabama lately. That's just what I heard. But it's safe to say Texas Tech has been recruiting like crazy, and their roster, in the eyes of the AP viewers, they're looking like they could be a sneaky good team this year. But there's another thing I always say, I gotta see it to believe it. Then we got Tennessee at 24. Josh Heupel's a really good coach. He rebuilt that Tennessee program into the playoff contender now. And with Nico Yamaliava going out, Joey Aguilar coming in, yes, it could be a downgrade quarterback, but this team may not be as strong as they were before, but they could make some games competitive. Like the Alabama game, perhaps the Georgia game could be competitive. Maybe they'll miss. Don't sleep on those Volunteers now. And finally, of course, we got the Boise State Broncos without the Genty Show. Also known as the guy that I think should have won the Heisman. Max Madsen's the quarterback. They still got quite a bunch of production. They're definitely the best group of 5 team going into this season as far as the best chance of making the playoffs. Other group of 5s to consider, Toledo, Tulane, perhaps Memphis. There are some sneaky good teams that could shock a lot of people heading into the second year of the 12-team playoff era. I'm excited to see how that goes. Let's stray away from the AP poll and head over to the Heisman odds. FoxSports.com Heisman odds. Let's take a look at them. So at the top of the list, as you can already guess, Arch Manning is the front runner for the Heisman race. Obviously it's not a surprise. Then we got Garrett Nussmeier for LSU at second, Kate Klubnik at third. Oh yeah, Jeremiah Smith, that's the wide receiver for Ohio State. I do agree that he's going to be the best non-quarterback player that has a shot at the Heisman. Literally, it's just Jeremiah Smith and then everybody else's quarterbacks. You know, Lawrence Sellers from South Carolina is 5th. Then you got Julian Sayin from Ohio State. That's the new quarterback for Ohio State that I was trying to mention. Drew Aller from Penn State. TJ Lagway from Florida. Dante Moore's a new guy as well from Oregon in place of Dalen Gabriel. John Mateer out of Oklahoma after Jackson Arnold left for Auburn. Then Sam Levitt for Arizona State and Carson Beck from Miami, which I think is bullshit. There are a lot of great quarterbacks on this list, but Carson Beck is definitely not one of them. I mean, are these guys fucking scared to put Jeremiah Love in there? Dude was balling for the Irish. Oh yeah, there's another Bama wide receiver that, you know, took the internet and college football by storm. I don't know if you heard of him, but his name is Ryan Williams, who's now, what is he now, 18? I'm a Bama hater, but I think he should be ahead of Carson Beck. As for who I think is going to win the Heisman this year, give me... Shoot. Who is he going to be? Ooh, I am actually going to say... it's tough. I think Jeremiah Smith is actually going to win it. He's going to be the first wide receiver since Devontae Smith to win the Heisman. Devontae Smith in 2020 was insane. Eagles got a good one in that 2021 draft. I think Jeremiah Smith's going to be the same thing. I feel like as of late, there's been a blessing. If your last name is Smith and you play wide receiver, you're going to be really, really good in your final year of college football. Let me know your Heisman winner in the comments below. And that's going to do it for the Heisman odds and AP Top 25 reactions. And that's going to do it for this episode of Grizzly Talks Football. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give this a big thumbs up. Hit the red subscribe button down there. And the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. This is Grizzly signing off for now. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace, love, keep the Grizzly vibes with you at all times. Take care.